you're going to lose, and how to win. Welcome to another conversation of keeping the conversation, another video of keeping the conversation alive. That's the one with me, Will Perry. So I hope you're well. So you're going to lose. What? Lose what? Lose this fight. Why would you go into a fight that you're going to lose? Why would you go into a fight? But this is a metaphorical fight, not a real fight. This is a fight with your own self. Ooh, okay, and not a physical one, an emotional one. So, if you're prone to negative self-belief, negative thinking, negative actions, self-sabotage, shooting yourself in the foot, one hand behind your back, handbrake on. There's so many metaphors I use. If you're prone to thinking negatively about yourself, when you look in the mirror, that's a brilliant one. When you catch yourself in a reflection, do you go, oh, or do you go, I have to do it like that, hey, no, how you doing? So that that latter one might be on the erring on the side of arrogance or ignorance, but primarily, that's a sign of this stuff that's going on. That's a sign of this negative self-belief, and it's simply a losing battle. If you have that going on, it's simply a losing battle. You will not change it, and it stinks. When you try and be positive, when you try and change it, when you get a course to do it, when you buy a business systems, a marketing, a self-development course, when you do whatever you do, you're on a losing battle. It will not work. Ugh. That stinks, and I don't want that for you. And I know this because I did this myself many years, 13 plus years, and it was like I became tenacious. And I think I've said many times, but it's in the webinar. I became more tenacious when she's upside down. My sister died, and I think that's what the grief process gave me. I know that's what the grief process gave me, a tenacity, not suddenly a bang, I'm going to do this, save the world. It was a lot slower than that, but it was battling with my own demons, but this tenacity of just going deeper and finding out the answer and the solution. What is it? But in a pragmatic way, not in a theoretical way. I didn't want to go to, again, this is part of my belief about being stupid, just because I had dyslexia. So I learned in a different way. And become more creative as a result of it, but or maybe there's a link with creativity. Anyway, there's also different aspects on it. But because I had this belief about myself, and it was compounded because of my learning ability, it formulated an opinion or belief that I was stupid. So when I'd do anything or try and do anything, oh no, I'm stupid. So these things go round. They don't vanish. They don't disappear. And whenever I'd do a course, it would just compound. I'm stupid. I can't do this. But there's not just like I'd fail because I'd fail and then just compound. Oh, it's because I'm stupid. It actually, because I'm stupid, creates the failure. That's the self-sabotage that you don't often see, that loop. So even when you're doing self-development, it's the bit underneath, and that's why I called it generation traps. All these things that we struggle with, we don't see the thing at the center of it, what's causing it, what's perpetuating. We work. Let's go to work on anxiety. Right, let's get an anxiety course. Let's go to work. Let's get running. Let's for weight, not work. Let's get to work about weight. Let's go jogging. Let's go. No, you've got a bloody problem at the beginning of it, at the center of it, and that's the real problem. That's what's going to stop you. That's what's going to self-sabotage. That's where you're going to self-sabotage yourself. Bugger. Okay, bugger. And that's why you're going to lose this fight. Let's get that back again. You're going to lose this fight with depression. You're going to lose this fight with weight. You're going to lose this fight with your feeling like a failure. You're going to lose the fight with relationships. You're going to lose the fight with money. You're going to lose the fight, this is a tongue twister now, with self-worth. And you're going to lose the fight with anxiety. Bugger. And that's the word of the week, I think. Bugger. Now you really have a fight on your hands. Once you see this stuff, you really have a fight on your hands. And the problem is, or the challenge, let's frame it as the challenge. The challenge is that this fight is bigger than you. Oh, so the fight with this, David and Goliath, let's go like that. You are David. The great thing is that David can beat Goliath, but was it like that? Can beat Goliath. However, it starts off being laughed at. Ha ha ha! No, yeah, David starts off being laughed at, does he not? Because he's so inconsequential, and that's a bit like what goes on. You can beat your negative self-belief, absolutely, and that's the woohoo. But the bugger is the thing. What you've got this great steaming belief to tackle, dangerous belief, negative belief that holds you back in life, and all you've got is this little bit of positivity, this little David to come, and it's like, oh, bugger. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. So, humour. Oh, this a good segue. Humour plays a big part of solving this and tackling this, because when we get very significant, that's why it fits with me so much, and it fits with my personality profile. Actually, it's really interesting. But when we get stuck in patterns, and phobia is a good example. When we get stuck in patterns, they fire off boom, 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 automatic responses, physical responses, emotional responses, all that sort of thing, and we get triggered. We are serious. It's like it's a reality thing, but there's no humour there. You can interrupt these patterns with humour, and it's like, oh, it's an inoculation, a vaccination, if you'll pardon me using vaccination, the V word, in the context, but it's inoculation. It's inoculating you against this belief that you have working. It's really interesting. I love humour and how powerful it can be when used in this context, when used in the pattern of beliefs and everything that becomes very serious about yourself. And yes, I've got anxiety. If I get this list about, it's a pretty serious list. Yeah, if you laughed about your depression, you wouldn't be depressed. If you laughed about your weight, you'd be more comfortable in it. If you laughed about your failure, you wouldn't be so serious about it. If you laughed about your relationships, you'd open up an avenue to actually get into the heart of it. If you laughed about your money, you'd take away the weight, the stress of money situations. If you laughed about your worthiness, you'd be less significant about yourself. You'd be like, oh my God, yeah. If you're able to laugh about your anxiety, you wouldn't be anxious. So can you see how humour is so important? This is where we can work smart. So I work with neurolinguistic, not as in, now, Val, I am going to use neurolinguistic programming. So this tool, I guess I've been doing it for so long that it's a smoothened out, and I don't use all the technology terms, technical terms. There we go. I don't use the technical terms. It's just part of my approach. And when you know what you've got, you know what the problem is, you can see it in front of you, you know what happens before, you know what happens after, and you know the point where you need to change it, and then you can use the right tools in the right way to change that and give yourself a very different outcome, which is one for good. If you see my point. There it is. So it's a lovely way, and that's working smarter for me. In the program in module 6, we have the voice exercise, and what I found over the 13 plus years of working with this stuff, the voice exercise is so powerful. But on its own, I was thinking, when I found it, it's like, I'm going to change the world. Oh my God, this will do it. And I did it with a few people, and it was like, wow, yeah. But over time, it didn't work. And it's like, bugger. There's that word again, bugger, because it was the David and Goliath thing going on. Which way were my hands? David and Goliath thing going on. So that on its own doesn't work. It has to be a context and and in the right time, in the right moment. It's like, wow, kapow, boom. That makes the difference, and it makes a difference over time as well. It's like, oh, that's so cool. So I love finding those timings and getting the right time and getting and using humour. That's all part of the process. And for me, that's what I've been working and developing over the last 13 plus years. Makes me feel very old. Dignified. The grey hairs, they're good. It's sage, very sage now. Wisdom, all that sort of stuff. Keep piling those compliments on. Yes. Yes. There's worth in the 13 years. And there is. There really is. But sometimes you wish it was like a bit quicker. Don't we all? It comes through the journey. The wisdom comes through the journey. Does it not, if you see my point? Oh, there it is again. So, that's the solution for me, and my approach. And because there wasn't much out there, and there wasn't much that I could, grab onto, I was formulating and being tenacious to do that myself. So my invitation to you is, how long? 10 minutes, right? Sorry for taking so long on this valuable, awesome piece of information that I gift to you. Not meant with arrogance, just humour. So do what you can. My invitation is to you to do what you can, all right, to start seeing this stuff, to start exploring the issue for yourself. Go Google it. Go see what comes up with self-esteem, go self-belief, negative self-belief, self-talk, whatever you do. We all go to Google. Go check this stuff out. Do your own exploration, all right? Some people don't, just so a heads up, some people don't believe in self-esteem. Some people believe in self-esteem, but actually take it as confidence, and you can change it in a do this in your self-esteem and improve. Do 5 tips to self-improve. Well, next week I'll be great. That's anyway. Go do your own research. Go and see what's out there. Some people don't believe in self-esteem because it's not real. It isn't actually. It isn't real. It's just a label for this understanding of this negativity, and in terms of the personality traits, the big 5 key personality traits. This negative thinking, negative emotions, propensity for negative emotions comes from the neuroticism bit, and I've done a video last week on that. The negative, the aspect of negative thinking, and this is what negative emotions, and that's what the negative thinking is. So that aspect of neuroticism. So how neurotic are you? That's what I called it. Are you neurotic? So and that's not neurotic as in psychology has dropped the term, medical term, as neurotic, but it involved it into the term of anxiety. Anyway, those are my invitations to you. Go and explore this for you, but don't just let it lie, because you're losing a battle at the moment, that you can't win, and you're going to keep losing that battle. And I don't want that for you, because it's not a great way to live. It's not a nice way to live, losing that battle all the time, being dominated all the time. So go take the test, because that's a nice indicator of where this stuff is. This indicator of neurotic or neuroticism thought. It's just an indicator. It's really quick. In 10 questions, you can't obviously get something that's fact and proven across, but it's a nice little indicator. So if you get that, there might be more to this, and go and explore. And if you've watched these enough, don't just sit there with it and just let it go and let it go. Do something about it. Go and explore. See what others say on it. See how this resonates. Build your own picture with it, but don't just let it go. Okay, and the test, if you want, is around here somewhere, or if not, ask. All right, many thanks. Hope you're well, and speak to you soon. Loves your boy. Bye bye.